Hey guys, in this video series, we're going to cover how to use Pro Tools Intro. Pro Tools Intro is the free version of Pro Tools released by Avid in September 2022, and it's a follow-up to their previous Pro Tools First, but with a lot of improvements. In this series, we'll cover the basics of Pro Tools Intro, including setting up the DAW, recording and editing audio, working with MIDI and virtual instruments, automation, and exporting our project to allow us to share it. To get started, we need to go to the Pro Tools Intro page on the Avid website, click the download button, and register for an account if needed to download Avid Link, which is the installer that is used to install Pro Tools. Even though it's free, we still need a license to use Pro Tools Intro, and it will also install the iLok software on our computer to manage the Pro Tools license if it's not already installed. Once the installer is running, just follow the on-screen instructions to install the program. During the installation process, we may be asked to give the installer our password for the computer to be able to install everything automatically. Otherwise, we'll have to manually install Pro Tools Intro, the Expand 2 instrument, and the samples package. When we launch Pro Tools, we'll get this dashboard screen to start our project. The left side has a menu for Create, Recent, Projects, and Getting Started. The Create menu lets us create a new project. We can name it at the top and set it to save to local storage instead of the cloud since we're not using a paid version of Pro Tools. We can set the file types to use WAV for uncompressed files, set the sample rate and bit depth, and the location that it's saved to. Recent Projects gives us the projects that were previously worked on and saved to our system. Projects is the projects we have saved to the cloud, and Getting Started has tutorials, information, and templates for beginners. Let's start with a blank project under Create. When we launch the project for the first time, we're going to get a blank view with nothing available. Let's start setting up the program and our window. Go to the Setup menu at the top and check Hardware and Playback Engine to make sure our audio interface is selected. For a default audio interface or to use Pro Tools without a dedicated audio interface, you'll want ASIO for All installed on your system. Otherwise, select your audio interface. With that set, we can now set our view, so go to the Window menu and select the Edit window. You can also close the Transport view in the bottom to get rid of it, since it will also be displayed in the Edit window. Expand the Edit window so it takes up the full screen. For the basic controls, we have the mouse tools along the top left with different tools for things like zoom, clip editing, range selection, and moving clips. The middle has the project time indicator that shows our current time in the project, start time, end time, and selection length. To the right, we have the tools to select the grid and nudge snapping resolution, and we can use these drop-downs to set them to musical time and set the resolution of snapping, such as quarter notes. Moving more to the right, we have the transport tools that control playback, recording, and project navigation. We get stop, play, record, snap backwards, rewind, forward, and snap forward buttons. To the right is the metronome. We can set the count in, time signature, tempo, and control if the metronome plays during playback, recording, or both. Finally, on the right, we have the tools for quantizing MIDI, which helps bring MIDI more in alignment with the project timing. Now let's move down to the main project view in the middle. This is where all our tracks will be held and edited. Along the top, we can see we have a few timelines. We have a timeline in beats and bars for musical time, minutes and seconds, and tempo, which can be used to set the tempo of the song by clicking the indicator at the beginning and changing the tempo, or to change the tempo throughout the song. Right now, we can see that we don't actually have any tracks by default, so we'll need to add them in. To start, just go to the track menu at the top and select New. This is where we can choose what type of track we're adding. I'm going to select a stereo audio track and name it bass. Even if I'm using a bass guitar, I often select to configure the track as stereo because I'll use something called my Avid 11 rack, which is a guitar amp simulator that processes a stereo signal. It's not always as necessary with bass, but it can be helpful with other instruments such as electric guitars, especially when there's stereo effects like reverbs and delays. When we create a track, we can see that we'll get our record arm, solo, and mute buttons for that track. The I button is used for input monitoring, and we can use this if we want to hear our track back while we're recording, particularly if we're applying effects such as a guitar amp simulator to an electric guitar. The default track view in Pro Tools is missing a few of the tools that we would need to configure everything. To get those to come up, click the rectangle in the top left of the Tracks panel to select which components of the tracks are visible. I want to display the first set of inserts, sends, and I/O for inputs and outputs. From there, we can go to the I/O panel at the top and select the input that corresponds to our audio interface input with the bass guitar plugged into it. Then we can press the circle on the track to arm that track for recording. This will tell Pro Tools that we want to record on this track when we press the record button. If we want to turn the count in on for this recording, we have to click the count off button in the metronome panel so that it is highlighted. We also need to create a click track by going to the track menu at the top and selecting Create a Click Track. When we're ready to record, we should have the individual track armed for recording, the project armed for recording with the record button flashing, and the count off button highlighted. Then just press the play button to start recording, and we'll get 2 bars of count in before we start so that we can start in sync with the metronome. Once we're done, press the stop button or the spacebar on the keyboard. To delete the recording or start over, we can press the undo buttons on the keyboard or just select the clip with the Smart tool and press delete on the keyboard to remove it. For general editing, we'll want to go to the toolbar at the top and activate the Smart tool. We'll see there's a set here that includes the trim tool on the left, selector tool in the middle, and grabber tool on the right. There's a bar that surrounds them on the top that we can use to select the Smart tool, and this will give us all these functions at once. We'll see the cursor change depending on what portion of the clip we're hovering over. From here, we can see that we can click on the ends of the clip to trim it, or grab the clip to move it around on the timeline. The most important tool here is probably to trim the clip, as it's pretty common to get noise at the beginning and end of the clip before we start playing and after we stop. If we drag along the top corner of the track towards the center, we can also create a fade. If we need to change our view, there's a scroll bar along the bottom that scrolls the time and along the side that scrolls vertically through the tracks. Each of them has a zoom button to zoom in and out. The last thing we should cover is how snapping works. When we're trimming or moving a clip, we can have it so that it trims and moves freely or snaps in time to the project timeline. This is first controlled in the top left corner. Slip basically turns off snapping when we move the clip or trim it. If we select grid instead, it will snap, and the grid snapping can be set either to absolute grid snapping, which will snap the start or end position changes to the grid, or relative grid, which will move the start and end positions by the grid resolution relative to its starting point, but it won't snap it onto the grid if it wasn't on the grid to begin with. To set the grid resolution, we need to go to the right where we have the grid panel and set it to a note value. Thanks for checking out this video on setting up, recording audio, and editing audio with Pro Tools Intro. If this video helped you out, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell icon to get notified whenever a new video is released. You can also check out the video description for links to social media accounts to stay up to date on all our new content.